Hi, hi, hi. I'm so excited to talk to you. Well, first of all the way around the world, because it's nighttime here. I'm in Los Angeles, so it's night here, and it's morning for you, right? In Malaysia right now.
Morning. It is bright and early, and I'm currently in the center of KL, Banyan Tree, this beautiful hotel that's given us this location to do this call with you. This is so nice. I'm so excited.
I know. I feel like we're so close, but so far away. I feel
Yes.
like I want to come in and say hi and give you a hug, and then I can't. So, but
Yeah. It's a virtual hugs, virtual
virtual hug,
hugs.
virtual hug. This is our 2020 hug.
Yes.
So first of all, congratulations for being named, one of the 100 on Asia's Most Stylish in Tatler this month. I have to say, so I worked on the list with a couple of colleagues of mine at the magazine, and we put so much attention and thought into the list because we wanted the list to really defy convention, to really break out of the norms of what people think style icons are. Because for me, especially someone who's been in fashion industry for like 30 years, um, it's really more than just clothes, and you know that it's really so much about personality, attitude, the way that their outlook
Like,
on life.
tell. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the 3D dimensions that come around it. So like everybody puts on clothes every day, but that doesn't mean anything. It's also about the person that you are. So I always say that this list is really a celebration of the most stylish, but it's also a celebration of people and
Yeah.
and who they are and what they've done. And I feel like you were someone that jumped out immediately for us. In terms of being really such a style icon, yes, but I think such a sort of really a sort of someone to look up to. I think there's a real sort of humanitarian thing about you as well, because I think what you are, to me, you're more than a model. You're more than someone who just looks good in clothes, but you really are someone who defies all the norms. You are not what you think of when you think of a supermodel in Malaysia. I mean, you have to agree with me, don't you think? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
your look is slightly different. You have tattoos, which nobody can tell right now, but
Yes.
you're very outspoken. And I
Yes.
think those things are very admirable, especially today and even, I think for this particular industry. And I think also for Asian culture in a way, wouldn't you say?
Yes, I would say definitely. I mean, maybe if I were in the States, for example, like tattoos and being outspoken, that wouldn't actually be that much like of a big deal. But definitely in Asia, I've had its pushbacks, and there were the struggles, dealing with sort of the taboo around tattoos and being an outspoken Asian woman. But this was definitely great. Being recognized for despite all of the struggles that I've had with those things previously. And it is actually really really insane to be sharing a spot in that list with so many other people. Like, honestly, this year's Tatler Asia's Most Stylish list was amazing. It was so diverse. There were people from all walks of life, different styles, and so really to be a part of that, I felt so validated, in my whole journey, from being just a fashion model to kind of going into the realm of being a bit of a personality, and then doing, I mean, I would like to believe it's activism, standing up for the little ones, here in Malaysia, and fighting the good fight. And it's just great, to go through all of this and still be considered stylish. So
I mean, you are. I'll give you a little hint about our list. The youngest person was 9 years old, and the
yeah,
oldest was 90. So, how great it is to have a best dressed list of the most incredible people across Asia, from 9 to 90, from all walks of life. Like you said, they're not all people in the fashion industry. I think actually there are very few, and I think that's what's so interesting. That fashion touches everybody in all walks of life, no matter what it is that you do. But I actually want to go back to the thing that you were saying for 1 minute, that it sort of is different to be an outspoken Asian woman. Do you think that there is a lot of expectations or stereotypes, or at least a norm that you fall into as an Asian woman, that you can't be that outspoken, or that you really can express? Like, how did you ever think like, oh, I shouldn't say that, or I should say that, or you just never cared? I always love to get into the people's heads about how they think about the things that they do.
well, for me, my dad always had this thing where he would tell me, if you want to do anything, make sure you're good at it, and then people can't touch you. And then that's how you should go about life. And I'm pretty sure he was just talking about like school and homework and those things. But I think I just took that and I just kept it with me, and I went about my whole life kind of just going about it. If I wanna go out and I wanna be a good person and I wanna just do things, I wanna have fun. It's almost like, when people start to be like, oh, why are you behaving this way? Or, why are you so loud? Or why are you so, all over the place? Why aren't you sitting like a lady? I'm like, well, I'm not hurting you though. Like, I'm just, I'm not doing anything to disturb the peace. Maybe you might be uncomfortable with it, but I'm sorry. How is that, how is that my problem, really? So I think, having that sort of baseline has removed a lot of insecurities surrounding being a woman. I think, expectations and stuff, it does come from a place of insecurity, that you want to feel accepted into society. You want to, fit in your place in society. You don't want to feel like an outcast, because people are mean, man. Like, straight up. I don't even blame anyone for wanting to fit into a box. I've received all sorts of hateful comments. People have, threatened like my family and like dug up stuff about like my siblings and my parents, and all because I don't fit in to the box, So I feel like me doing it is just because I feel like I don't know any other way to live my life. But at the same time, I don't fault anyone else for not wanting to live that way, because it's scary, Some people just really, really feel that you should live a certain way, and if you don't, there's something wrong with you and something needs to be done about you. And that's the scariest part.
I agree with you. And I think when you talk about mean people, and everybody is mean, I mean, I think sometimes it's easier for people to be mean and to be a bully, especially on social media, than to be nice. But I think sometimes the meanest of all can be people actually in the fashion industry. And I don't know if you come across it. Yes. See, you're like,
yeah, no, it's like I haven't even gone to America where being outspoken is all right? And like in Malaysia, so like as I was coming up, when I was like 15, I had the worst things said to me. I was just like, oh my God, like how did I survive all of that? Like in retrospect, thinking about it, it's just mean. And it's cool to be mean in the fashion industry. Is that
I think it is. I think maybe starting to not anymore. Yeah. But yes, I mean, look, The Devil Wears Prada. It's all about like, she won an Oscar for being mean. And it's like, all of a sudden it's like you're celebrated for being mean. But I think that's sort of a wrong attitude. But I think everybody sort of adopted that, which is sort of crazy. But you were saying that you started modeling when you were 15, but then you won Asia's Next Top Model.
No.
You were a finalist.
I was a finalist. Yeah.
You were a finalist. But how did you even get onto Asia's Next Top Model, and what made you want to do that?
Okay, so I joined Asia's Next Top Model actually 4 years ago. It was the show.
Uh-huh.
And so, sorry, not even 5 years ago. It was 2017. 2017, 3 years ago.
Yeah, so 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. And prior to that, I was already modeling for 7 years. I started when I was 15. There was this Ford Supermodel of the World search happening, and I had a friend who, and this was like 10 years ago. The whole thing was Eurasians, that
yeah, of course,
that very Eurasian sort of beauty. And she's this beautiful French Chinese girl, and she wanted to go for this casting, and I was like, okay, you can go for it. I'll just hang out with you. And she couldn't turn up. And I was just kind of there waiting, and I don't think I had a photo. I don't know, this is 10 years ago, right? And I was just hanging out, and somebody from the casting upstairs came down to have a cigarette, and then they were like, are you here for the casting? Do you want to cast? And I was just like, oh, I'm here, why not? And then I got in. I didn't win. I didn't win that competition. Actually, the model who won that year for Model Search, her name is Atika Karim. She's actually based in New York now and everything, and she's doing really, really well for herself. I'm so happy for her. But that whole competition really started this whole spark, this like, ooh, modeling, I think I've always been a little bit of a performer in the sense, like I used to love drama when I was in like the earlier days in my high school, and I felt like modeling, it had its own challenges that, you had to learn how to express yourself through, somebody else's design, somebody else's visions, but you still have to find your own voice, through your expression or your poses. And it was really, really hard, like at the start. Like, let's not even talk about like the body image and fit into, looking a certain way. But it was hard because you're just learning, you're learning to understand what people want, and then you are then expected to translate that into a photograph. Being the subject of the photography, half the time you don't even know what's going on. Well, at least at the beginning, you didn't know what was going on. Like when they take that photo, how the hell is it going to look? So then that was kind of hard for me for a while, and then I decided to go to uni. I decided, okay, I'm going to stop modeling. I'm going to go to uni. I went to university in Australia. And then because of some financial difficulties in my family, I had to come back. So, kind of giving up on modeling a little bit, and then not being able to continue my education. I was just like, how do I come back? Once in the fashion industry, once you're out of sight, you're kind of out of mind a little bit. I was gone for 2 years. So I was like, I need to make a big, like a big hit comeback. And it just so happened that was the time of the Asia's Next Top Model auditions. And I just sent in a tape from Australia. And then one thing led to another, and I was on the show.
Did you like that? Did you like that TV experience?
I think I expected a different thing. I think I expected an actual competition the way the first competition was a competition. This is still, I feel like reality TV is always going to be more TV than it is going to be a contest.
It's more entertainment. It's always going to be more entertainment. Yes.
Yeah, it's always more entertainment. So I feel like I was kind of blindsided by that. I'm no longer under like NDA, so I can talk about it. But there were you could tell, the producers kind of had stories that they wanted, to happen, and they would push a little bit, and it was kind of shady.
Oh, and the type of girl that you would be. What was your role? What was your girl?
I think everybody expected me to be bitchier or like more aggressive than I really am, because I've always been vocal on social media, regardless of whether people knew me or not. I always had opinions, and I think because of that, people thought that I was like a fighter, like I like to fight with people, but I don't. I'm one of those people that if I'm unprovoked, I love you, I'm your friend, I'm cool, I'm one of those people that's like, literally, you are innocent until proven guilty. If you do something to me, then we have a problem. But until then, I'm chill. And I think, and I was friends with the most annoying girl, and I basically fight her because everyone that was going to start beef with her, I'd just be like, Clara, can you please just like say sorry? And so I don't think they were very happy because there's a lot of drama that couldn't happen because of my friendship with her. But anyway, it was fun though. I really like, I can have whatever grievances I have with the show, but like it really, really helped me so much. It really put me out there. I went from, afraid of being forgotten when I come back to like then the most relevant person in Malaysia that year, because of my participation in the show, despite...
That's amazing. Would you do reality TV again?
No, I wouldn't do reality TV.
Well, you've been acting though.
Yes. And I actually have to thank reality TV for my little step into acting. Like it is amazing. That's my new love right now.
Is it? But what do you love about acting that's different than being a model?
I feel like acting is the extension of modeling, where modeling you're capturing moments in still frame, whereas acting you're capturing that entire moment in the scene through performance. So I feel like one of the most interesting things about acting was modeling is always about looking good, getting the right angle, I feel like modeling has suddenly never seemed so rigid compared to acting, because acting it's not about looking beautiful anymore. It's about giving the emotion. It's about something else, and you would think that modeling first will then help with the acting. Nah, it's like
Why?
the way you behave for a fashion video is nothing like the way you should behave for a role. Like, I remember the first time I acted and absolutely no guidance, didn't know what I was doing. And you can just see everyone else acting, and you can see me pretending I'm in some fashion video and like my turns, and it's
And
it looks so ridiculous. It
did the
looks
director
so
ask you to
ridiculous.
do it again, or do you watch that today and say, "Oh my gosh"?
Well, I watched it when it aired on TV, like on national TV. So I was just there, like, what is going on?
But now you know. But that's actually
Now I know,
interesting
yeah.
because I started styling and magazines. I was a fashion director since the 90s, and I've seen models really change over the years. Like, I started and I was styling all the supermodels in the 90s, so all the Cindy, Christine, Naomi, Linda, all of those girls, and then we morphed into other girls. And it's sort of interesting that models sort of became just beautiful girls. Didn't really they were two-dimensional in a way. And then when social media happened, they all again
Everybody
sort of
needed
came.
personality.
Yes, and everybody needed personality. Everybody needed to be able to talk and do things and move around. And now it was more than just taking a pretty picture in a studio for a magazine. Now it was like, what's your life like? What do you do? What's everything about you that's gonna make you desirable? And I think so, you know that. Like, social media has played a huge role in your career. I mean, I think I was reading the story and you were saying that when you first went to Europe, even after you won Asia's Next Top Model, a model agent literally said to you, what am I going to do with your 80,000 followers from Asia? That doesn't help me. And it's very eye-opening because it is a very important currency for models today. And I think actors and actresses to a certain extent as well. I mean, what's your relationship with social media?
Um, I wouldn't like to like consider myself an influencer simply because I think influencers put a lot more work into their social media. My social media is just kind of a byproduct of like the work that I do, for print or for magazines or for campaigns, and then those photos end up there, and then I also share bits and pieces of my life on my social media. So I think my social media is more of like a tool for people to wanna get to know me or like connect with me, but it isn't. I mean, like that being said, I do do social media work. Of course, a lot of campaigns are on social media now. There are a lot of advertisements that kind of go on social media, but I wouldn't want to consider myself like a full-on influencer. I would still want to believe that like if the internet died, I would still have a career in print and billboards. But I mean, like, times are changing. It seems like it's the other way around. It seems like print is dying and social media is everything. So I would say that's my relationship with social media. I'm pretty.
But do you feel the pressure to constantly, I have to post this, I have to get a certain amount of likes, I have to make sure I get a certain amount of followers? Like, do you feel that pressure or not really?
I think I started feeling that the most during COVID, because Malaysia went on lockdown for 3 months, and there was literally no work at all. And it made me really realize how little, compared to maybe some other people or the influencers, how little work I do for social media. Like, a lot of my work is, you have to leave the house, you have to go to a shoot, you have to be, you have to go out and do things, which was not possible at the time. So that's when I kind of felt like, oh no, like maybe I should pay a bit more attention to my social media. Maybe my social media is actually the next, other than acting, it is the next step to whatever success that I might want in the future. And I feel like COVID did that for
Changed
me.
all that. Okay, yeah. So quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question. You look gorgeous in your Dior outfit. Are you going to take a picture and post it later?
I've already posted it. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Then I'll be the first one to like it. But I love your Dior outfit. You look gorgeous in it. Everything. Okay. I think we have maybe about 8 minutes left. Should we ask each other some questions?
Yes, I have some questions for you.
Okay, you want to start? Okay, you start.
So, as I was saying just now about COVID-19, now how do you think COVID has affected the fashion industry and your outlook on life?
Oh, okay. Well, number one, I think it's affected the fashion industry where now everybody's thinking about wearing sweatpants and sweat clothes all the time because we're just stuck at home. You know, you're locked down in Malaysia, we're locked down in America. It's like we just want to be comfortable. I'm wearing sweatpants right now. Underneath.
Party in the bottom.
Yes, it's always business on top, party on the bottom. But yeah, I think it's changed the fashion industry in a way where it's really make people reevaluate like what's important, what are we getting dressed up for, what do we need to buy, and not have a lot of excess. And I think that's a lot of my personal outlook too. It's like I go in the closet, being stuck in our house for the last 6 months. It's like, why do I have so much clothes? Why do I have so many shoes? Where am I going? What do I need? So it's kind of reevaluating what you need in your life and really reprioritizing the things that are important.
Right.
All right, I got a question for you. Oh, I love this. Can you tell us more about your interest in conservation projects?
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't say that I'm super, super, super dedicated to. I mean, I am, but I previously did things. Whenever I had the time, I would like to join little projects. So I have friends who own, NGOs, and they do all of these environmental, projects, whether it's collecting seeds for rainforest rehabilitation, turtle conservation, or whether it's like cleanups, just these things. So I participate in these things a lot, on and off. I wouldn't say that I do it religiously because previously I just never had the time.
But you've done a lot of stuff also with mental health, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, because you've had your own personal issues with mental health, but you've been a champion of, and I think in Asian culture, mental health is the one thing a lot of people don't really talk about openly.
Yes.
And I think you've really helped people address that.
Yeah. I would like to believe that I have. I think being open and talking about it does kind of, break down some of that taboo surrounding mental health. But I do believe that mental health is also about accessibility, and it's also about, the government, wherever you are, in whatever country you are, doing their part and, pulling their weight, because access to mental health facilities, that is the most important, because a lot of people just go around giving advice. Even the advice that I give out, it might not be applicable to someone else. So I feel like mental health awareness is great, but there also needs to be that second step to it, which is access to mental health facilities and everything. So, maybe one day I'll be a politician. Who knows?
No, but I love it because it's being able to one, admit it, and then the other step two is be able to get help for it. And I think both of those things are very hard in Asian culture. I mean, yes. I don't know a lot of people in our culture that really walks around and says, "Oh, I feel depressed." It's just not a thing a lot of people, I think, say.
Is it different in, let's just say we're talking about Asians, right? America? Are they still sort of held back, or is it because, in America, everything's you can talk about anything, that there isn't really that, limitation?
I think it's a combination of everything. Like in the Chinese language, there isn't even a word for mental health. That's what's crazy, because it's not even defined in the language as something that is to be talked about. So I always find that incredibly, incredibly fascinating. But anyways, I do want to say congratulations to you for being on our list, our first Asia's Most Stylish list for Tatler, with 100 people on it, and you are on our cover. You really are such a joy. I've loved you. I've watched your journey, since you were on Asia's Next Top Model, and seeing you on social media and everything you've done. I can't wait to watch you in the next movie. Is there something coming up that we can see?
Yes, on the 5th of November, there is a film called Salina. And I have more as well coming up, but I think it's over. But thank you so much, for speaking to me. It is great. I read about, your journey, and you started all the way from the bottom and you climbed from all the way to the top, and that's awesome. I really look up to that, and thank you for all of the wonderful creative work that you've done previously.
Aww.
And for Tatler, I'm very excited to see.
I am too. Maybe we can actually work together. Maybe you'll come to America, or I'll come to KL, and I can style you. Can we do that? Can we make a date?
After the craziness is over, or we can do it over Zoom. Who knows?
Oh, I can style you over Zoom. That's done. Or else we'll just have to have a great, wonderful, beautiful photo shoot either in Los Angeles or KL. Deal?
That's awesome.
Okay, I love it. I love
Okay.
talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so, so much. You look beautiful.
Thank you.